There's a colonnade here. It leads to a sort of side door to the president's office, where he invited us in on a wintry Washington day. Mr. President, thank you very much for letting us come in today.
Pleased to do it, David.
Rolling, please. Let me know when you have speed.
Speed.
Speed and cue.
Galloway. Galloway.
You're the only movie actor I know of who ever got elected to a high office. Do you learn anything as an actor that has been useful to you as president?
Well, I'm tempted to say something here, but I'm going to say it.
Go ahead.
There have been times in this office when I've wondered how you could do the job if you hadn't been an actor.
We haven't had a better all-round president who had more vision, more courage, more character, and has done more for humanity of this country than Ronald Reagan.
Our aim is to increase our national wealth so all will have more, not just redistribute what we already have, which is just a sharing of scarcity.
I think Reaganomics, with its tight money and its loose budgets, have given us a worse time than we had to have.
The personality of Reagan is going to endure.
I think that he has captured the imagination of the American people because of his ability to communicate.
To be prepared for war is one of the most effectual means of preserving the peace.
According to a recent ABC News Washington Post poll, a plurality of Americans believe the chances of a nuclear war have increased since Ronald Reagan became president.
He was always out of touch. He was never in charge.
The Reagan administration will be remembered for majoring in public relations.
Together, we'll make America great again. Thank you very much.
Say what you will about Ronald Reagan, he has the capacity to inspire, to lead. But to lead us where and into what? When we finally reach that shining city on the hill, will it be real or just a vacant Hollywood set?
Okay, recording? Oh, you are? Okay.
Okay, hold on a second. Okay,
People tell me lots of weird things. It's very strange thing.
I'd like to speak to the people of New Hampshire about two issues facing their state. Two issues I know something about: government spending and taxes. There are those who say that state governments can't balance their budgets, and there are those who say that higher taxes are inevitable. It doesn't have to be that way. But the current governor of New Hampshire hasn't learned that lesson yet. And unless New Hampshire changes governors, a state income tax or a sales tax is as inevitable as New England's trees changing colors this fall. That's why New Hampshire needs John Sununu as governor to solve the state's fiscal problems without raising taxes. I know John Sununu. I respect him. He'll be a governor New Hampshire can be proud of. I hope I said his name right. I'd never said it. Sununu? Maybe we better do it again. Ain't nothing worse than...
I'll be done. 5.
Okay. All right.
Sununu. Sununu. All right. That's why New Hampshire needs John Sununu as governor to solve the state's fiscal problems without raising taxes. Sununu. Sununu. I knew I said it wrong. Why the hell isn't his name? That's why John Hampshire needs Sununu. Sununu. Oh, hell. I know John Sununu. I respect him. He'll be a governor New Hampshire can be proud of.
Get him out of guest one. There he is, right there. Take him in with the governor.
Oh, not near the post.
Yeah, that's where showing the corn's supposed to be.
Not the post.
Yeah.
Well, it still kills the picture. It just doesn't cut it, I mean.
Maybe some shots of him driving a tractor.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Jim. That's it.
The orchestration of television coverage absorbs the White House. They provide pictures of him looking like a leader, confident with his Marlboro Man walk, a good family man.
The White House has become more and more of a stage, a theater. And the question has become, are the television networks going to manage that theater? Are they going to manage that stage? Or is the White House going to do that?
What we try to do is find a background that matches the topic that we're trying to push that day.
Oval Office, we read you loud and clear.
Discovery, Oval Office, that's Sir Roger. Stand by for the President.
Where have you been playing? Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Mr. President, good to see you. Good to see you.
Look, I had a chance to shoot a bunch of you the other day and didn't. Hello there. I think I maybe came in too fast.
Nice to see you again. Remember you
Yes,
spoke at our convention
1979.
Yeah, that
San
was
Diego.
Yes, sir.
I was going to tell you about my little son yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
We were
Do you
riding
want,
to the airport.
is this just between us, or
No,
do you
no.
want them to?
We were riding to the airport yesterday afternoon, and my mother was talking about in Arkansas that they were trying to pass a law to give 150 or pay people staying in their homes instead of going to the old folks' home. I made the comment. I said I didn't think they should give anything. I thought we should take care of our own. You know, that's my feelings. My little one I thought was asleep in the back seat, and he raised up and he said, "Granny, that's why Ronald Reagan's the president. Stop all these giveaway programs."
Tell me, you had the experience, Mr. President, at one time of auditioning for film roles, and then when you ran for governor and president, you were auditioning in front of the public for office. Which is more difficult?
Well, I have to say this one is, you have to, well, you not only have to get the part, you have to write the script.
The people of show business are different from the rest of us, which is probably why we pay admission to see them. I doubt if the rest of us would buy tickets to see each other.
Get away from him.
She's staying where she is. You wanted law and order in this town. You've got it. And you're going to keep on having it as long as I'm marshal. I give you my word. I'll shoot the first man who starts for those steps.
He's bluffing, boys. Let's get him.
The next one gets a load of buckshot. Any takers?
So it isn't enough just to be a good president. You have to look like a good president.
Well, I think looking, obviously, and appearance is very important, but it's also staging, how you stage the message. It's a game, Barbara.
In the 35-year history of the hands of the doomsday clock, created by nuclear scientists to dramatize the relative threat of nuclear war, have moved just 10 times. They've now moved for the second time in a year.
Today, the atomic scientists who built and perfected the bombs moved it from 4 minutes to 3 minutes till doomsday, nuclear war.
7 out of 10 Americans believe nuclear war could break out between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. You know, you think about your children, your family, the people up the street. I mean, you know, what does Washington know about these people? They don't care.
These crazy people want to destroy this entire world and all of us in it.
Their new missiles on their side of Europe, our new missiles on our side. Two implacable opponents who know little more of each other than what they see on their TV screens.
Let us be aware that while they preach the supremacy of the state, they are the focus of evil in the modern world.
This is an ABC News special report, an address by the President of the United States. Here is correspondent Ted Koppel.
The President is about to speak on the balance of power between the United States and the Soviet Union. Here now, from the Oval Office, is President Reagan.
My fellow Americans, thank you for sharing your time with me tonight. The defense policy of the United States is based on a simple premise. The United States does not start fights. We will never be an aggressor. We maintain our strength in order to deter and defend against aggression. Let me share with you a vision of the future which offers hope. It is that we embark on a program to counter the awesome Soviet missile threat with measures that are defensive.
The president said he was launching a massive research effort to develop space-age weapons that would bring down or incapacitate Soviet missiles before they reached the U.S.
What if free people could live secure in the knowledge that we could intercept and destroy strategic ballistic missiles before they reached our own soil or that of our allies?
This, the president claimed, would secure the U.S. against nuclear attack and eventually make nuclear weapons themselves obsolete.
Call it the Strategic Defense Initiative. Call it, as most of the world does, Star Wars.
And suddenly, the farce was with us.
Star Wars, Star Wars.
Star Wars program.
Mr. Speaker, the only thing the president didn't tell us last night was that the evil empire was about to launch the Death Star against the United States.
In my opinion, the president is carried away by his own scenario. But it's a scenario that belongs in Hollywood.
We have in Ronald Reagan a trigger-happy president who is all too prone to use force, who looks upon a force as the first resort, not the last resort.
The president tonight didn't make clear just why the Soviets should not view his proposal with alarm. For in the nuclear game, one man's defense is another man's danger. And Moscow may see tonight's address as both destabilizing and provocative.
A group of congressmen at a press conference demanding that I cancel the underground nuclear test. That's due today, isn't it?
It's supposed to take place at 11:30 our time, but...
Well, it's taken place already. Because when I got the call during dinner last night, I said, shoot the bomb.
Right on. All right.
continuing doubts about Mr. Reagan that boil down to whether he really runs the government. There are charges he relies too much on his staff, that he's too passive. When he finishes his current trip to California, he will have spent 1 day in 6 as president on vacation.
Even when he's working, top administration officials describe a disengaged president who spends 1/3 of his time shaping policy, 2/3 on ceremony and public relations.
I think he has a very good mind when he chooses to use it. Unfortunately, I don't think he chooses to use it. He lives, I think, unfortunately, in a world of Norman Rockwell and the Reader's Digest and a world of 40 years ago that he remembers nostalgically, and it's not the real world today.
1, 2, 3. We're at the ranch in Santa Barbara, California, for a president that's gonna ride horses and chop wood.
I got stepped on. Oh, boy.
This is not for me, honey.
There we go. There we go. Super! All right, great. I've got an idea for another picture. Just one more. I've got the chainsaw. No, and you're blocking me off. Stopping me from approaching. Don't just stand there. You're supposed to be saying, no, I'm not going to start the saw.
No.
Mr. Reagan, some people have suggested that you have been the driving force and that you wanted the presidency more than he did.
Yeah, I know. I've read that too. Not true. I thought I married an actor.
It appears to an observer that after 33 years of marriage, you two are still absolutely nuts about each other. Explain it. I mean, it seems to be an extraordinary relationship.
Well, how do you explain it? We're happy.
But why does it work so well?
I think we work at it.
A wife who's made it her business to take care of her husband, whether by coaching him on what to say about the Russians,
Doing everything we can.
or worrying about his raincoat.
You should have worn a raincoat. You should have worn a raincoat. I think what people get mixed up in this whole thing of my pushing him. They don't understand that if he had decided to go into the shoe business, I'd be out pushing shoes.
As far as I could say is I think Clark Gable once said the line to someone. He said there's nothing more important than approaching your own doorstep and knowing that someone on the other side of the door is listening for the sound of your footsteps.
And are you sitting there waiting?
An estimated 100 million Americans watched last night as some of the horror of a nuclear bomb attack on the United States was portrayed in a TV movie. Among those watching was President Reagan.
The earth, the air, the water, the fire returns. The
The day after had a special meaning for the people who live in Lawrence, Kansas. It was their town which was destroyed in the movie, and within minutes after the movie ended, some 500 people had gathered on this hillside.
I think we're the last generation if this continues.
I just have very strong feelings about the kind of world we live in. I would like to continue to live in it, you know?
Laurel Osterkamp and her mother had been extras in the day after. Last night, they watched themselves die on television. Watching the movie was hard for Laurel. Being in it changed her outlook.
More than half of the people will probably just die right away, and that's what I want to happen. I don't want to survive.
At the moment, the Kremlin's spending on defense means less money for other things.
The Soviet Union is not performing. It is not able to sustain simultaneously increased investment, consumption, and defense.
Leaders from around the world have gathered in Moscow to pay their last official respects to the Soviet leader Konstantin Chernenko. More importantly, they've gone to shake hands with the new leader, Mikhail Gorbachev.
There is enormous public interest here in the new Soviet leader, Mr. Gorbachev. His picture appeared prominently on the front page of all Moscow papers today.
I want him to fight for peace.
Enter a bear smiling. But the big question is, why is he smiling? He won over the British press, which may be something to smile about. He won over Britain's Iron Lady, which is certainly something to smile about.
I like Mr. Gorbachev. We can do business together.
And he seems to be exploiting a potential division in the Western Alliance, and that is something to make him smile all the way back to the Kremlin. At 53, this rising star of the Politburo exudes charm, smiles easily, has a keen sense of humor, and an attractive wife.
The Soviet government has gone to great lengths to portray Gorbachev as the voice of reason, the man trying to prevent an arms race in space.
Did he upstage you? Did he upstage you?
The Strategic Defense Initiative has been labeled Star Wars, but it isn't about war. It's about peace. And in that struggle, if you'll pardon my stealing a film line, the force is with us.
Privately, NATO foreign ministers expressed deep misgivings about President Reagan's pursuit of the Star Wars defense concept.
Russian spokesmen say their armed forces must be kept equal with the Americans. And that means another round of the arms race, say the Soviets, who insist they're being dragged into this competition by Ronald Reagan.
I read the clips this morning, particularly the Washington Post, and as far as I'm concerned, they're for Gorbachev.
So we've known that for a long time.
They're not on our side.
They've already chosen sides.
The Allies publicly broke ranks. On television, France's President Mitterrand criticized President Reagan's research program for space weapons. Mr. Reagan's staunchest European supporter, Prime Minister Thatcher, stated her opposition to a new arms race in space.
One does not want to go into a higher and higher level of armaments.
Ronald Reagan, he's no good. Send him back to Hollywood.
When you feel like you want to throw the phone and everything's going wrong, instead, doing that or kicking the desk, you take this, you grasp it firmly by the legs, and then you go, damn it. That gets rid of all of that.
Any president, particularly an older president, in his second term begins to say, how will history think of me?
His legacy in the field of foreign policy is he called them an evil empire. That's not something that's going to stand him in good stead with anyone. But if his legacy is that he helped reduce nuclear weapons and make it a safer world...
That means a summit. That means signing arms agreements. The ultimate photo opportunity, a public relations man's dream.
Hopes, fears, expectations for this summit. An expectant world keeps wondering about arms and the men and the issues.
In Brookline, Massachusetts, schoolchildren hope the summit will assure peace. Parents around the world wish it were so.
We only want peace. We've got to try. Please, please, pleaded this Russian grandmother.
40 years of Cold War suspicions have not thawed.
I'm very, very, very afraid of them. And I think they've infiltrated our country.
We don't think they're overly trustworthy.
My fellow Americans, good evening. In 36 hours, I will be leaving for Geneva for the first meeting between an American president and a Soviet leader in 6 years. I know that you and the people of the world are looking forward to that meeting with great interest. My mission, stated simply, is a mission for peace. It is to engage the new Soviet leader in what I hope will be a dialogue for peace that endures beyond my presidency.
Out of sight of the press, President and Mrs. Reagan drove to the Villa Fleur d'Eau, site of the first day of summit talks. And Mr. Reagan tried out the chair he'll use to conduct his get-acquainted one-on-one with Mr. Gorbachev. According to an aide, Mrs. Reagan sat down in the chair reserved for the Soviet leader. And the president said, "Well, you're much prettier than I expected." It's that kind of personal chemistry that could make this summit a success.
We haven't given him a script. Let me get that one straight at the start. The man knows what he's talking about. If there's an occasional slip, anyone can slip on a fact or two. The principles, he'll never slip on principle.
3,500 accredited reporters to cover all of this, speaking all languages, using the latest technologies.
This part is all story. I'm not entirely sure.
It's been an issue all of Ronald Reagan's career, whether he's a strong leader able to sell his vision of the future, or whether he's just a salesman with plenty of style and little substance.
Warn them the motorcade.
They shook hands in the driveway, the first moment of meeting for the 74-year-old American president and the 54-year-old Russian leader.
Can you pose again? Pose again? Can you stand there and pose again? Up at the top, sir.
Then they posed for pictures on the back terrace.
Over here, Mr. President. Over here.
"Where's your overcoat?" Gorbachev must have said in Russian. "I left it inside," the president seemed to say in English. But no matter the language barrier, inside as they posed for the press, the interpreters were present.
Mr. General Secretary, Mr. Gromyko once said of you, "You have a nice smile, but iron teeth." I guess meaning you're tough. What do you have to say about that, sir?
Вы знаете, пока это не подтверждается, пока я пользуюсь своими зубами.
It hasn't yet been confirmed. As of now, I'm still using my own teeth.
Seriously, what is this, 20th? This is November the 20th, 1985. This is in Geneva for a reception for Gorbachev. I forget his title. What is Gorbachev's title?
Secretary General.
Secretary General, the People's Republic, Socialist, the Union of Socialist, Commie Russia.
How's it going? Mr. Reagan, how's the meeting going?
We haven't started.
Well, how'd it go yesterday?
Fine.
Are you getting along?
You see that, can't you?
Well, that's a picture. Tell us.
Gorbachev seems to be most confident that he can outperform Ronald Reagan. He's feeling comfortable, he's feeling good about the way things are going, and he thinks that he should be able to strut his stuff as well on the world stage.
It is Gorbachev who is
very vocal with the press, talking, laughing, smiling. It is Mr. Reagan who is sitting back speaking monosyllabically. Now, why isn't Mr. Reagan coming forward in the way that we've seen him in the past?
Gorbachev is trying to win through public opinion what he doesn't necessarily get at the negotiating table. If he can gain leverage against the United States through his propaganda efforts, then he can win something at the table.
And so the stage is set for Mr. Reagan and Gorbachev to report on their summit. With every indication they will call it a success. But behind all the smiles and rhetoric, the question is whether they have really done something to make the world breathe easier.
Mr. President, do you have good news tonight?
Yes, the news is so good we're going to hold it till tomorrow.
Did you discuss human rights?
We've come to the end of the meetings.
Мы пришли к концу наших встреч, наших заседаний.
I said, and I'm sure others did,
Я говорил, и я уверен в том, что и другие говорили,
that this summit was a beginning,
что
not
эта
an end.
встреча на высшем уровне это
Tom Paine
является
said,
началом.
we have it in our power
Пейн говорил, что
to start the world
нам
over
возможно
again.
заново начать мир.
I guess you know that I've just come from Geneva and talks with General Secretary Gorbachev. In the past few days, the past 2 days, we spent over 15 hours in various meetings with the General Secretary and the members of his official party. And approximately 5 of those hours were talks between Mr. Gorbachev and myself, just one-on-one. That was the best part, our fireside summit. There will be, I know, a great deal of commentary and opinion as to what the meetings produced and what they were like. There were over 3,000 reporters in Geneva, so it's possible there will be 3,000 opinions on what happened. So, maybe it's the old broadcaster in me, but I decided to file my own report directly to you. No, we had good meetings, and even where we disagreed, we weren't disagreeable.
That's my point. I don't think you... And I watched him very carefully, and you said a great line, you know. You said as an actor, you could see when somebody is acting and reacting. But you know what I love? He might have acted, but you know what happened? Because you're a good actor, you had him react a couple of times. Pearl, could you just hold this up? Are you presenting this to the President?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thanks.
Good afternoon and Happy New Year, everyone. And this new year begins with an important demonstration of the renewed communications between the Soviet Union and the United States. President Reagan and Soviet leader Gorbachev are exchanging New Year's messages that will be broadcast directly to the Soviet and American people. This will be the first direct address to the American people by a Soviet leader since 1973.
It is reality of today's world that it is senseless to seek greater security for oneself through new types of weapons.
At present, every step in the arms race increases the danger and the risk for both sides and for all humankind. I wish you a Happy New Year.
To every American family, I wish good health, peace, and happiness.
Check, is the mic on?
Yes, it is.
Oh, all right.
Read a few words.
Okay. Good evening. This is Ronald Reagan, President of the United States of America. You got no history books over there? No things like that? I am pleased to speak to you on the occasion of the...
Ken, are you okay?
Good evening. This is Ronald Reagan, President of the United States of America. I'm pleased to speak to you on the occasion of the new year. On behalf of the American people, I wish you all a happy and healthy new year. Let's work together to make it a year of peace. There is no better goal for 1986 or for any year. Let us look forward to a future of Chistaya, Nietba, for all mankind. Thank you. Spasiba.
You say it better than I do, but it sounded as if you had a T in it, as if you said "niet."
Чистая.
Yes.
Чистая небо. Чистая.
Stand by.
Добрый вечер.
Ronald Reagan.
Let us look forward to a future of Chistaya Nieba for all mankind. Thank you. Spasiba.
Cut.
Now we'll have a postscript. Now, how does that figure with all that crud they've been feeding you? I think I told you the story. Old woman, he went into Gorbachev and said she wouldn't leave the Kremlin until she saw him. So he said, well, bring her in. So she came in. He said, old mother, what is it you want? She said, I want an answer to a question. Did a politician or a scientist invent communism? Well, he said, a politician. She said, that explains it. Scientists would have tried it on mice first.
We could do this tape over here. That'd be a nice.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
The Soviet leader, Mikhail Gorbachev, has made what looks like a dramatic proposal, a plan to eliminate all nuclear weapons by the year 2000.
The American side was surprised and upstaged by Gorbachev's sweeping proposals.
It's a bid for public opinion, and of course the seriousness of it would have been highlighted if it had been tabled first in Geneva.
By offering his timetable for the elimination of nuclear weapons, Mikhail Gorbachev has clearly challenged President Reagan, but by holding to their condition that space weapons also be banned, the Russians have shown that the major obstacle to the spirit of Geneva still exists.
You and Gorbachev had been eye to eye before.
Yes.
Would you trust him with your wallet?
With my wallet, yes. But in discussing such things as weapons and so forth and arms agreements, I must say I did say to him at one point, I'm not a linguist, but I did know a proverb that I could say in his language, Dovyai no provyai. Trust, but verify. Dovyai no provyai. It means trust, but verify. Dovyai no provyai. Dovyai no provyai.
Oh, I remember that one.
Dovyai no provyai. Dovyai no provyai. Trust, but verify.
Around the craggy fjords, across the snow-capped peaks.
Here in Reykjavik, as in many other parts of the world, people are very eager to know whether Mr. Reagan and Mr. Gorbachev will take a step this weekend which will make the world a more stable place.
The people believe that because Iceland has an American airbase, they are likely to be Soviet targets in the event of a nuclear war.
It's so many nuclear bombs in the world that an accident might happen.
Reykjavik is only the size of Canton, Ohio, but finding a place here for the two most powerful people on Earth to meet has been a problem. Both Moscow and Washington want something modest, intimate, suitable for one-on-one meetings. Both have already rejected the Icelandic government's first choice, a big hotel, because they felt it was too big, too slick, and might give the impression that the summit was a media event instead of a low-key working conference.
you have any new proposals that you're going to make to Mr. Gorbachev while you're here?
We'll discuss all that with him.
Are you going to suggest a date when he comes to the United States?
Again, I'm not going to predict. I'm always
So they'd like to break up?
Mr. President! We have an agreement, Mr. President! We have an agreement, sir! Will you meet again? Have you agreed on anything? Did you set a date? Will you meet again before...
Well, there is a great sense of disappointment that, at least at this meeting, a tremendous amount of headway was made, but in the end we couldn't quite make it. It became more and more clear that the Soviet Union's objective was effectively to kill off the SDI program.
Mikhail Gorbachev told a news conference the summit had failed because of Ronald Reagan's obsession with putting weapons into space.
It became clear, comrades, that the Americans came to Reykjavik having nothing in their hearts.
The president didn't watch Gorbachev's speech, but the reaction of advisors was to portray the summit as anything but a failure.
Believe me, the significance of that meeting is not that we didn't sign agreements in the end. The significance is that we got as close as we did.
A great many people are still trying to figure out what it was that Mr. Reagan and Mr. Gorbachev almost agreed to. The Reagan administration has not done a great deal to clear up the confusion.
Why are you hiding him? Show yourself.
President Reagan today gave yet another version of what he says he said and understood about arms control proposals made at the Iceland summit, and it sounds like what Gorbachev has been saying.
We're talking about arms reductions, possibly even the complete elimination of ballistic missiles from the face of the earth.
Imprecision of language for Ronald Reagan is nothing new, and often it doesn't matter. But in this case, the president is telling the country that agreements with the Russians are nearer than ever before. And it seems important to understand exactly what he has in mind.
The Reagan White House has come up with all sorts of ways to protect the president from reporters' questions. The usual method, keep the press corps far away and a helicopter close by.
And so you see a lot of Ronald Reagan marching back and forth across your TV screen, just out of question range, waving a genial hello, and that's it.
Over the years, the president's men have also come up with variations, such as plunging the leader of the free world into darkness, so cameras can barely see him. The First Lady once saved her husband from a question about the budget with a birthday cake.
And we are holding it to 7%.
Reporters who cover the president say he knows he makes them look stupid, that he enjoys it, and the chaos helps him avoid answering any questions at all.
Come and tell us about it. But the question here bears directly on the prospects for arms control and whether at this point they're real or just campaign rhetoric.
I think there is great reason for hope, ultimately, to get rid of nuclear missiles all over the world.
Thank you. We've got two more songs, and the children will escort you over there. We've got two more quick songs.
Can you tell them about the summit prospects? We don't have them.
to say that I feel very good, but I also am a little superstitious. I don't want to talk about things until they happen.
Do we have a deal going with Iran in some sense?
No comment.
Good evening. It is taking shape as one of the most controversial foreign policy developments of President Reagan's years in office. The reports of a secret White House operation to ship Iran military supplies in exchange for help in freeing 3 American hostages.
Mr. President, you have stated flatly, and you stated flatly again tonight, that you did not trade weapons for hostages. And yet, the record shows that every time an American hostage was released, there had been a major shipment of arms just before that. Are we all to believe that was just a coincidence?
If your arms shipments had no effect on the release of the hostages, then how do you explain the release of the hostages?
How would you assess the credibility of your own administration in the light of the prolonged deception of Congress and the public?
The polls show that a lot of American people just simply don't believe you. But the one thing that you've had going for you more than anything else in your presidency, your credibility, has been severely damaged. Can you repair it? What does it mean for the rest of your presidency?
Well, I imagine I'm the only one around who wants to repair it, and I didn't have anything to do with this damage.
There is a mood in Washington tonight of a president who is very much beleaguered, very much on the defensive.
What would be wrong with saying that a mistake was made on a very high-risk gamble so that you can get on with the next 2 years?
Because I don't think a mistake was made.
And may I just go now to Chris Wallace, who's at the White House. I believe that there is a clarification that is coming out of this news conference tonight as well.
Well, Tom, something that I have never seen before in my years at the White House, a statement by the president. There may be some misunderstanding of one of my answers tonight.
But it just seems to me that it re-underlines, it reaffirms, if you will, Chris, that the president is not on top of this situation.
This is quite the worst day that this administration has had. It's gone from triumph to disaster in such a short time.
Italians were told Reagan will have to answer many more questions. For many Europeans, the scandal confirms their worst fears about the U.S.
I'm afraid what it shows is a stupefying shambles at the very heart of American policymaking.
Well, the British people have always been very skeptical of Ronald Reagan, skeptical of actors being in the White House, skeptical of people who muster their lines if they can't read them at the right times, skeptical particularly of presidents who can't recall conversations or whether they sold arms or did not sell arms or authorized such a sale. I think none of this has come as a great surprise.
Put your thumb up! No. Are you rewarding terrorism, Mr. President? Have you no respect for the office?
Mr. President, hasn't this damaged your presidency?
Both friends and critics agree the Ronald Reagan good guy image has been tarnished.
Is as lame a duck as you've ever seen.
If he has enough time left in his administration to restore the
President Reagan must do in the days and weeks ahead to salvage what is left of his presidency.
May be the last chance to save his presidency.
In the past, this president has always been able to bounce back with a television speech, a wave and a smile. But if there is a consensus among admirers and adversaries tonight, it is that this time, that won't be enough.
Quiet, please.
1 second.
Rolling down. Here we go. Stand by at the hall. Okay, this is, yes, hold on.
A few months ago, I told the American people I did not trade arms for hostages. My heart and my best intentions still tell me that's true, but the facts and the evidence tell me it is not. As the Tower Board reported, what began as a strategic opening to Iran deteriorated in its implementation into trading arms for hostages.
I asked you 20 years ago how you'd like to be remembered, and you said, as someone who's tried and done his best. How would you like to be remembered as a president?
Someone who tried and has done his best.
Same answer now.
Yeah.
And if people said, well, he was the head of our nation's studio, to put it in, for 8 years, for the first 4 years, he picked all hits, and then like any studio boss, he had a bad run. But then he staked everything on his Soviet co-production. Would that be a reasonable summary?
If anyone tells you that we're just marking time for the next 22 months, the business that I used to be in said, save something for the third act. And we will. All right.
Mikhail Gorbachev's genius is that he has persuaded many people that it is he, not President Reagan, who is in the forefront of arms control. That many in Europe seem to regard him more highly than the American president testifies to Mr. Gorbachev's political skills.
It's no coincidence the president is challenging the Soviet Union on human rights. He and his staff are concerned about the growing tendency in Europe to see the U.S. and Soviet Union as moral equals. Mr. Reagan came to the Berlin Wall to try to prove that isn't so.
Präsident der Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika, Mr. Ronald Reagan und Mrs. Nancy Reagan.
There is one sign the Soviets can make that would be unmistakable. General Secretary Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, if you seek liberalization, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Berlin is in the middle of celebrations of its 750th anniversary. The president suggested this occasion could bring the two sides of the city together, but it hasn't.
Mr. Gorbachev's already established himself as a shrewd political chess player.
Where Mr. Gorbachev is weak, however, is at home with an ailing economy.
Mr. Gorbachev's dilemma is that he cannot move any faster than he can drag along party conservatives and the old guard. An agreement could politically strengthen Mr. Gorbachev's hand to deal with his greatest need at home, modernizing a third world economy.
Yes, I have just a very brief statement. I'm pleased to report that en route to Denver here, I received a call from Geneva, and it appears that all of the remaining issues on reaching an INF agreement have been resolved, including a reliable and credible verification package. This treaty will be finalized when General Secretary Gorbachev and I meet in Washington next month.
Can you sell it to the Senate?
What?
Can you sell it to the Senate? Can you sell it to the Senate? The treaty.
I'll bet we can, yes.
I just couldn't believe it. I think it's
great that he came out to meet us all like that. And I am very surprised and pleased.
What do you think of Gorbachev?
The guy is a PR genius.
I thought you'd gone home.
President Reagan meets with congressional leaders to rally support for Senate confirmation of the treaty banning intermediate and short-range nuclear missiles.
Our efforts are to give future generations what we never had, a future free of nuclear terror.
The lines in this political battle were quickly established, with the Reagan administration finding its greatest support for the treaty coming from Democrats.
This time I am enthusiastically, which may hurt your effort, but supportive of your efforts.
Well, I'm glad to be working with the President of the United States for a change.
The most scathing opposition comes from conservative Republicans.
Are you afraid that Ronald Reagan is going to give away Star Wars?
I'm not afraid. I think it's in the works. If I were to vote today, I would vote against that treaty.
The President insulted the conservative movement.
Unfortunately, Ronald Reagan is a very weak man with a strong wife and a strong staff.
He has changed sides and is now aligned with his former adversaries, the liberals, the Democrats, and the Soviets.
For the first time in history, the language of arms control was replaced by arms reduction. Mr. General Secretary, though my pronunciation may give you difficulty, doviai no proviai, trust but verify.
Но значение этого...
На каждой встрече вы это повторяете.
You repeat that at every meeting.
I like it.
Veterans of past summits worry that this president may be too taken with Mikhail Gorbachev, the man, and not guarded enough against Gorbachev, the dedicated communist. Howard Baker argues that Mr. Reagan is a good negotiator. As evidence, he describes how the president decided to put Gorbachev on the defensive by asking him to autograph a baseball.
And Gorbachev looked sort of puzzled, and the interpreters took about 5 minutes trying to explain all this to him. And finally, Gorbachev signed the President's World Series baseball. And from that moment forward, the President had control of the proceedings for the second day of the summit.
The question, Sam, is whether we have a change of heart that's commensurate with a change of face. And I haven't seen the evidence of it yet. The President believes we do. I don't think so.
I urge the Senate to give its advice and consent to ratification of this landmark agreement.
Many of your closest conservative supporters are troubled by your arms control policy. They're afraid that it really could seriously put the security of the United States and of the West at risk. What do you say to them?
I say to them, they don't know what they're talking about. I think that some of the people who are objecting the most, just refusing even to accede to the idea of ever getting under any understanding, whether they realize it or not, those people, basically down in their deepest thoughts, have accepted that war is inevitable between the two superpowers. Well, I think as long as you've got a chance to strive for peace, you strive for peace.
The Turkish name is Wilfred, and that is a German name, and it means resolute for peace. Yes, sir, Wilfred. You let him have it.
Good evening. This is Ronald Reagan, President of the United States. I'm speaking to you, the peoples of the Soviet Union, on the occasion of the new year. Let us consecrate this year to showing not courage for war, but courage for peace. We owe this to mankind. We owe it to our children and their children and generations to come. Happy New Year. Thank you, and God bless you.
Cut.
Take that, Mr. Gorbachev.
President Reagan would like to leave for the summit with a ratified treaty in his pocket, but he hasn't got it yet, and the summit is only days away.
So I think the Senate should move as quickly as they can this week.
That'll be a tight squeeze to see if the Senate does complete action on that before the president reaches Moscow.
And if he goes there without this treaty being ratified, I would predict that we're going to have a terribly crippled president of the United States.
In the Gorbachev era, the Soviets have become image conscious, and leaving nothing to chance, they have hired professional help.
We have press coverage there.
Meet John Kabelik. He is a Washington, D.C. marketing and public relations man. His client is the Soviet government. It's plain that the Soviets expect he will help polish their image for the Western press, just as surely as the workmen who are giving Moscow a facelift.
Potholes that have eluded perestroika for 3 years are suddenly getting filled. Fresh vegetables are appearing in the stores, and new scaffolding is everywhere as painters give parts of Moscow a major facelift.
Wasn't that being red? Yeah, that's my liking in red.
Would you believe 10,000 official Soviet summit T-shirts made in the USA? They're on their way to Moscow, and TASS expects to earn about $200,000 in hard currency from reporters and others looking for a way to remember the summit. There are some in this administration who think teaching the Soviets the latest in sophisticated PR techniques is just as dangerous as selling them the latest in high technology. And who knows better than Ronald Reagan the importance of great communication?
All the rhetoric which the Senate debate produced, senators have decided overwhelmingly the treaty is a good one. The weapons treaty was approved by the Senate this afternoon.
Что ты думаешь, на чем себя? Как зовут? А? Рома? Что ты думаешь, Рома? Хорошо это? Очень хорошо. Я говорю, хорошо, что визит, а говорит, очень хорошо.
Конечно, все делается для мира. И желательно, чтобы ваши визиты были такие же простые и привычные, как полеты в космос.
Уже привыкли к космосу.
You still think you're in an evil empire, Mr. President?
No. Why not? Well, ну вы довольны нашими ответами? Еще нет. Как насчет ракет? Все ждут прогресса в области ракет. Я высказал президенту, что в Америке лично у президента не хватает самокритики. But before things get too far out of hand.
Но пока не слишком уж далеко мы зайдем.
Like we find ourselves standing like this.
Лучше вот так стоять. Хорошо.
truth came home to us once again. It isn't people, but governments that make war. The judgment of future generations will be harsh upon us if after so much sacrifice, and now at the hour of hope, we falter or fail. Let us resolve to continue one nation, one people, united in our love of peace and freedom, determined to keep our defenses strong, to stand with those who struggle for freedom across the world, to keep America a shining city, a light unto the nations. Frequently, when such moments happen in a nation's history, there's a popular saying or song that speaks for that time. And just maybe this verse sounds familiar to you. If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I'd thank my lucky stars to be living here today, because the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, work for all my life, and I had to start again, just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'm happy to stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I know this land. God bless the
No presidency before this one was so often judged as if it were a performing art. I shudder when it's suggested that politicians who come after him are going to have to succeed first on television.